Hi, I'm Rebecca Winter, and today's prenatal yoga class is called Go with the Flow. So I invite you to find a comfortable seat. You can either be in easy pose or you can be kneeling. And please do sit up on something. I'm sitting on a block today. You may want to sit on a pillow or a rolled up blanket, just something to make sure that your hips are above your knees. For today's practice, the props that I recommend having handy would be two yoga blocks or something similar, either two bolsters or two thick pillows, a thin blanket or a towel and a thicker blanket. And it's always good to have a strap, though we don't use it in every video. So go ahead and find a seat that's comfortable for you today. And we're going to allow our eyes to close and just start to let your hips sink down into whatever you're sitting on. And from that nice, solid, rooted base, allow your belly to release, letting your belly be nice and soft with plenty of room for baby. And now grow your spine, lengthening in the low back, lengthening in the mid back, lengthening in the upper spine, all the way through the neck and the crown of the head. You may feel the chin tuck slightly as the crown lifts towards the ceiling. If you feel your shoulders are coming forward, allow them to come back and down. Beautiful. And we'll take a hand on our heart and a hand on baby. Just starting to check in. What is going on in your body today? Allowing the breath to be even. Noticing, is your mind busy? Are your emotions buzzing? Or perhaps you're already coming from a place of stillness and calm. Trying not to judge how you feel, but just noticing it as information to help guide your practice today. And we're taking this moment to both check in with ourselves and check in with baby. This is a beautiful time for you to spend with your growing child. As you open and release your tight muscles, calm your mind, and quiet your emotions. I invite you now to set an intention for your practice today. What would you like to focus on? What would you like to take with you when you leave the mat? And then as you're ready, lightly opening the eyes. So for today's pranayama, we're going to be doing alternate nostril breathing. It's a really lovely type of breath work to help you center. And it's also great if you're experiencing any sort of sinus pressure or spring allergies. So to start, you're going to raise your right hand, and you can either curl your first two fingers into the palm, or some people prefer to place them up on their third eye. I like to curl mine in. Then I'm going to place my right thumb on my right nostril, and I'm going to inhale through the left. Then I pinch, exhale right. Inhale right, pinch, exhale left. Inhale up. And exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Now see if you can close your eyes and follow your breath and your pace. If you ever get lost, you're welcome to look back up at me to check in. Or just remember that you're inhaling from one side and exhaling the opposite side. Keep going. And the next time you exhale from the right, just allow your right hand to come back down, keeping the eyes closed. Let your nice neutral breath come in and out of both nostrils. Taking the time to notice any shifts and changes in your body, your mind, or your emotion. And checking in with baby. If you're at a stage in pregnancy where you can feel your baby move, you might notice in these times of stillness that baby likes to start to dance and flow, or perhaps you've helped lull them to sleep. And on your next inhale, as you're ready, you'll lightly open the eyes. Great. So removing anything that you're sitting on, we're going to come into our tabletop position. So placing your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And as a recommendation here, I like to also take either a thin blanket or a towel and place it under my knees. In prenatal yoga, we tend to do a bit more on our knees, and this can give us just a little extra cushion. So once you feel nice and neutral here, we're going to start getting into our cat-cow. So as a reminder, as you inhale and open into cow, we're looking for a movement up in the chest, not so much in the low spine. So inhaling, we rise. Exhale, we arch into cat. And that arch can be the whole spine. Inhaling, opening the chest, opening the neck and the throat. Exhaling, finding that sweet little cat arch. I'd like you to really tune into what's going on for you today. And know that you can take any movements you want here. So follow your breath as it guides you through moving your spine in a way that feels comfortable, in a way that feels helpful for you. So for some, that might be a little bit of moving side to side. There's some, they like that macaroni shape where you're looking towards your hip, side to side. And if you just really love that traditional cat-cow, then go for it. This is all about you connecting to yourself, to your baby, slowing down. Beautiful. Now bringing your hands just a little farther forward, we're going to start making circles with the hips. So these can be really small circles, depending on how you're feeling today. If you're in the first trimester and you still have a lot of mobility and you want to get those hips nice and low, you can make big circles. If you're in the third trimester and when you come forward like this, you really feel the weight of baby pulling on your low spine, then I'm going to encourage you to get those circles just a little bit smaller, a little bit more in control. Then we're going to reverse the circles in the opposite direction. You might notice that your body prefers moving one way or another. And just gather that information, trying not to judge it as it comes through. There can be so much judgment during pregnancy. See if you can let that go. Good. And then sitting back on the heels, you have a choice here. You can sit with your toes on the ground. This is really nice for stretching the fascia in the back of the feet. And I do encourage you to try this for a few moments. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, or if it's just not what you want to do today, then you can go ahead and sit flat on the feet. So whichever you choose, I'm just going to turn so you can see me a little better. We're going to sit back. And then we're going to just let the head drop forward on an exhale. And as you inhale, we're going to take nice, sweet little circles. Focusing really on the movement of the head falling towards the shoulders and forward. Focusing less on the head falling back. And if you did start with your feet tucked and you need to change, that is fine. Reversing the circles as you're ready. Good. And coming back to neutral. We're going to let the head tip over to one side. And if it feels good, you can take the arm from the side the head is towards and just lightly place it on top of the head. You don't want to pull the neck. We're just giving a little extra weight. And then you can take the opposite arm and reach it down towards the floor. Deep breath into the side of the neck. Good. Releasing on an inhale, let the head come up. Exhaling it to the other side. We can bring that same side arm to the top of the head. And then reaching away with the opposite arm. Nice deep breath to start to open up the fascia, the connective tissue on the sides of the neck. Beautiful, yeah. Next inhale, head comes to center. And we're going to rise up on the knees and just start to bring the shoulders back. Good. Knees can be nice and wide so you feel supported. And then one arm and then the other are going to come back and see if your gaze can follow your thumb. Really nice. Now both arms rise. We're going to interlace fingers, flip the palms up, look down, look up. Close the mouth, stretching that fascia in the front of the neck. And on your next exhale, arms come down and we're going to find our tabletop again, taking a nice little cat to counter and finding a neutral spine. Great. So curl the right toes under on the mat, pressing back through the heel of that foot. If you really feel like there's a lot going on in the back of the leg, you're always welcome to take a nice deep breath. And then on the next inhale, we're going to let that leg rise, flexing through the foot, and hug baby in now, starting to wake up the obliques and the transverse abdominis, those nice supportive abdominal muscles around the uterus. If this feels good, lifting the left arm forward as well. One more breath. And an exhale to lower, and we'll take it to the other side, curling the left toes on the mat now, pressing back into the heel. Good. Neck is nice and neutral, so you'll notice that I'm still looking down towards my mat. I'm trying to make sure my shoulders are relaxed down the back. And now lifting that leg, flexing through the foot, hugging baby in towards spine. And when you think of hugging baby, we don't just hug with our belly, we also hug with all the muscles around the side waist and our low back. So seeing if you can activate those muscles, hugging in and then lifting the right arm if that feels good. If you ever don't feel stable, you never need to lift the arm. One more breath. And exhaling to lower, really nice. So we're going to take this again, inhaling now both the right leg and the left arm. And now we're going to lower just the arm. I want to bring that right leg across the body so it's off to the left side of the mat. And then tuck those toes onto the floor and press into the foot. And if you want to deepen this, you can curl your torso over to the left, looking back at your right foot. Or at least trying to. If you don't make it, that's okay. It's going to be really nice to help open up the hips, the front of the hips. One more breath. And on an inhale, lifting the leg back up and exhaling it down to the mat. So taking it to the other side, we're going to lift both the left leg and the right arm. Hugging in. And then releasing the right arm, we're going to extend that left leg across the back of the body, down to the right side of the mat with the toes curled under. And to get that full expression of the pose, you can curl towards the right, looking back at those left toes. Opening up the left side waist and the hip. One more breath. Inhale, the leg rises. And exhale back to hands and knees. And go ahead and take a nice cat to counteract maybe swaying hips side to side. Lovely. So now bringing the hands a little bit farther forward, we're going to tuck the toes, lifting those hips, finding your first down dog of the day, and walking that dog out. So heel, toe, bending one knee and then the other. And we take those feet wider than we would if we weren't pregnant, making sure there's plenty of room for our bellies and plenty of support for us. You can always pause on one side or the other to take a nice deep breath if you feel those legs feel tight today. And then bending both knees, start to really press into the palms, lengthening the spine, pressing those hips back and up towards the sky. Nice. Try to release the head and the neck, bringing shoulder blades back onto the ribs. And then when you're feeling nice and long, you can start to straighten the legs any amount. I'd prefer that you focus more on keeping your back straight than getting your legs fully extended. Good. And deep breaths here through the nose. And then releasing the jaw, exhaling through the mouth. Open jaw, open cervix. It's a beautiful technique to remember during birthing, trying to keep that jaw nice and soft. One more breath. And then on an inhale, we're going to come back to hands and knees. And on your next breath, bringing that right foot forward and on the outside of the right hand. We're going to plant the left palm down. Inhale, right arm high, nice open twist. If it feels good, you can take that arm and wrap it around the low back, opening through the shoulder even more. Good. Next, inhale, arm rises. As you exhale, bring the right elbow to the right knee, and we're going to shift our weight to start to rise here. If you feel at all lightheaded during any of this, just go nice and slow. And then on the next inhale, lifting arms and gaze. And as you exhale, letting the palms spin out, thumbs spin back, and leaning forward. Now just check in with the low spine. We don't want to be arching in the low back here, so let your hips fall, let them soften, and let the arching come just from the chest, reaching up. Good. Next, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, palms through heart center, and we'll take a hand on the heart and a hand on baby. And as long as you feel stable here, letting the eyes close, taking a moment to check in. Next, inhale, eyes open. And we're going to grab one or two of our blocks. We're going to be doing a variation on lizard. And lizard can be a bit of an intense hip opener and leg opener here. So I want you to have all the props that you need to make that work for you. So that can often mean starting on one block or starting on two blocks. and you might want to widen your stance a bit. Now, if you're dealing with any sort of pubic symphysis pain, I would recommend either taking this with a much shorter stance or skipping it altogether. We don't want to make anything worse with pubic symphysis, but for most of us during pregnancy, this is a really nice hip opener. So I'm going to bring my forearms down to the block, and I'm leaning forward in my hip. My knee isn't anywhere near the front of my toes. So if you find that your knee is jutted out in front of your toes, you want to bring your foot farther forward. So I'm going to hang out here and I'm going to breathe. And I'm going to let my neck and my head release, hanging my head like a piece of ripe fruit. Nice deep breaths into anywhere I feel this. If you are releasing into the pose, feeling super flexible, you can always bring your blocks either down to the next level, or some of us, especially those who are more experienced yogis, will probably want to come all the way down onto our forearm. I want you to choose what feels good without forcing anything. Good. This is one of those poses that is really beautiful to help prepare us mentally for birthing. It shows us that we can sit with discomfort and see where we can let go to make this easier. One more breath. And then on an inhale, using your palms on the mat to help you walk yourself back up, shortening your stance. And you can bring that knee back into table. Good. Take a moment here, bringing the knees wide, sitting back on the feet, child's pose, head comes down to the mat. So after taking a pose that is challenging, we get a nice break. Very similar to the ebb and flow of birthing. The waves can come and they can be intense, but they will also crash and subside. And we need to honor the break. Let go. On your next inhale, we're going to come back up to hands and knees, adjusting the knees so they're hip width or slightly wider. And now we're going to step the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Placing the right palm firmly, inhale, left arm high, gazing towards the thumb, as long as that's comfy for the neck. Look at what your body can do. On your next exhale, elbow will come down to the knee. We take a moment just to check in, and as long as everything's feeling groovy, we're going to inhale, arms high, and exhale, let the arms fall, spin the thumbs back, and leaning forward into the hips, starting to open up. Checking back in with the low back, making sure hips are nice and soft. Low back is neutral and arching from the chest. Good. One more breath. Next, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bringing the hands through heart center, placing a hand on the chest and a hand on baby. Let the eyes close. Check back in. Feeling that connection. There aren't many times in our lives where we can say that we have two hearts beating in one body. And my friends with twins or triplets or more, what a miracle to have so many heartbeats at once. Inhaling, eyes open, arms rise. We exhale, bringing both hands on the inside of the mat, and then bringing that left foot forward a bit. Now grabbing your blocks once more, we're going to set up for lizard on this side. So forearms can come down to the blocks at whatever height feels comfy for you. And I should note that if forearms don't work, it is fine to take this on your palms, either from the block or the mat. Great, and then just leaning forward through the hips, any amount that feels comfortable, and letting the head and the neck go. Deep breaths in the nose, out the soft, open mouth. How can we sit with this moment here? How can we let our body open, open, open? How can we think instead of the end, what we can let go of to appreciate the now better? Making any adjustments as your hips soften and you find more space. Good. One more breath. And on an inhale, using the palms to press up, bringing that left knee back, making the hips nice and wide, the knees nice and wide on the mat, and sitting back on the hips, child's pose. Head down. Deep breath. Don't miss this moment. Good. One more breath. And pressing into the palms on an inhale, coming back up to our hands and knees. We're going to curl the toes, finding our downward facing dog, and taking a full deep breath through the nose, out a soft open mouth. And now walking the palms back towards the feet. Feet are a little wider than hip distance. Allow yourself to forward fold. Taking any forward fold that feels comfy to you. So I like to grab a hold of my elbows. And I want you to bend your knees as much as you need to let the vertebrae in your spine just hang. Good. Now bringing elbows to knees. Knees are bent. We're going to lift the head and the gaze. And as long as everything feels nice and stable, as you inhale, flat back, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. A hand comes to the heart, a hand comes to the belly. Let the eyes close. Noticing that energetic shift as you move from the floor to standing. Noticing if baby is dancing, still, and even if you're not at a stage where you can feel baby move, knowing that they're there, feeling that energetic connection from your heart to your womb, thinking my body and my baby are healthy and strong. Good. Inhaling, let the eyes softly open. Now we're going to remove the blanket or towel that you had across the mat. And we're going to come up with feet wide on one of the long edges of your mat. Feet are going to be not quite parallel here. We're going to bring heels in a little bit. We're going to inhale, arms open wide. Exhale, hug the body, taking a cat spine. Inhaling to open. Exhale, cat. 2 more. Trying to alternate which elbow is on top. Good. Then we're going to point the right toes forward, coming into a warrior 2. So right knee is bent, back foot is at 45 degrees, arms are long. And we're going to start a nice little flow here. So I'm going to inhale to come forward, and as I exhale, I shift my feet and come through a squat, coming to warrior 2 on the other side. But it's going to be this sweet little flow back and forth. So for a moment, it can be helpful to watch me here, but it really is just a matter of moving with your body. So we're moving in this sweet little circular motion. And I want you to follow your breath and your pace as you go with the flow. So depending on how you feel today, this might be super slow. Maybe you're in your first trimester and moving like this too quickly makes you feel a little woozy. You want to go slow. Maybe you're in that third trimester and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the amazing thing my body can do. I don't need to do this quickly. I can do it nice and slow. And maybe you're in that sweet second trimester and you're like, roar, I'm a lion, look at me. So just follow your breath, your pace. Go with this flow. Then no matter where you are, I want you to start to slow it down. Parallel feet. Hand on the heart, hand on baby. Just feeling the energy, the prana moving through your body. Settling it down. We flow and we pause. We flow and we pause. Just like birth. Just like so many stages of our pregnancy. Inhaling, eyes open, bringing the heels in. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring the energy back down to the ground through baby down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, grounding that energy down. I'm going to invite you to start bringing in some pelvic floor action here. So as we inhale, bring the pelvic floor up, up, up. Exhale, release completely. Inhale, up, 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 engaging. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. Good. So taking warrior two on the left side now, just turning that left foot forward, back foot 45 degrees. And we're going to start our flow again. So as you inhale, arms rise, moving the feet however you need to be supportive here. Also, we just let the hands flow in a circular motion, bending through one knee and the other. How do you want to ride this wave today? Beautiful. Look at what you can do today. Every day of our pregnancy, every stage of our pregnancy can be so different. And our bodies are so different. But they can still always do these amazing things. So instead of focusing on what you can't do that you used to be able to do, focus on what you can do. Great. And slowing down. Parallel feet. Hand to the heart. Hand to the baby. Bring it down. Knowing that your baby is here practicing with you. Your body is working so hard, growing this beautiful life. Isn't it wonderful that you can take care of your body while your body takes care of your baby? Next inhale, eyes slightly open. We're going to bring the heels in again. And we're going to reverse the type of squats we did before. So this time we're going to inhale, open the arms. And then exhale, squat. Now bring that energy up from the ground. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to come down. Let's bring our pelvic floor action back in. So as we inhale, we engage the pelvic floor. Exhale, release. Inhale, engaging those muscles that stop you from peeing. Exhale, let them go completely. Inhales layer by layer, keeping that pelvic floor, that real inner core hugging in. And then on the exhales, we want to completely release. Beautiful. One more time. Good. Next inhale, we're going to parallel feet, hand to the heart, hand to baby. One last time, bring it in. Slow it down. On your next inhale, lightly opening the eyes, we're going to heel toe the feet in. And you can come to the front of your mat. So we're going to do a little balance here. And depending on how you're feeling and the stage in pregnancy that you're in, you may want to do this against a wall. I unfortunately do not have a wall to showcase that with. So we're going to be working on tree. And the option here is to either have your back right against the wall, or you can have a hand on the wall for support. You're also perfectly welcome to do this freestanding. So I'm going to show a few variations. So we're going to start in a nice neutral position with feet a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're going to start to pour all of the weight into our right standing leg. Now choose a dristi, a gaze point, something that's not moving in the room that you can look at to help you balance. And we're going to start with hands in prayer position and taking the first position of tree. So it's as simple as just bringing your heel up to the right leg. Now this might be your tree today. This might be all you want to do, and that's fine. You're also welcome to bring the heel below the knee, so right up against your calf. Or for my friends who want to take it further, you can go ahead and take it so that your heel is and your entire foot is up above the knee. I just don't want anyone putting their foot on the knee. We don't need that kind of pressure. So if you are in a position like this, go ahead and press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, hugging baby in. And if you feel confident, you can start to grow your tree. Taking any movements with your branches that feel good. So some of us need that stillness. And some of us like to let our branches blow in the wind. I want you to choose what feels good for you. And then as you're ready, you can bring the hands back to heart center. See if you can bring that bent knee forward first to reset the hip before you bring the foot down. And then a hand to your heart and a hand to your baby. Ground back down. Don't miss this moment. And then as you're ready, eyes will open. You'll start to pour all of your weight now into the left standing leg, finding your gaze point, your dristi. Hands come to heart center, perhaps taking just that first stage of tree, or the second stage, or the third, wherever you are comfortable today. Now listen to your body, and if your body is ready to grow the branches, let them grow. Trying not to judge, trying just to feel what's going on today. When you're ready, bringing the hands to palm center, to heart center. Bringing that right knee forward first, and then down. And a hand to the heart, and a hand to your baby. Let the eyes close. Release. Good. On an inhale, eyes will open. And we're going to come down onto our back, having a block handy. And for this video, we're only going to do our bridge once, but at home, if you have more time, you are welcome to take 2 or 3 sets. And so a couple options for bridge. If you're feeling gung-ho, you can place that block between your legs, or you can leave it on the side and you can slide it under your hips, which we'll all do in a moment anyway. So bring the heels as close to your bottom as possible, tucking the shoulder blades in under the spine, nice long neutral spine. We're going to press through the feet to lift the hips on an inhale. Good. Hugging baby in. And I want you to listen to your body. So when your body says you're done, you're done. And what I'm going to have you do is come down onto a block. So you can choose any height that works for you, but you're going to come down into a supportive bridge. And if you feel stable in a supported bridge, then I'll invite you to lift one leg and then the other, letting the eyes close, letting the blood and the lymph pour down the leg, back to the lymph nodes in your hips. These inversions are so lovely if you're dealing with any sort of swelling in the leg. They also really help baby get in a good position for birth. They can help turn baby if baby is breech. And let's face it, it just feels good. Good. So you're welcome at home to stay here as long as you'd like. When you do feel like you're done, you'll lower one foot and then the other. And with your feet stable on the ground, you'll press into them, inhaling the hips up, removing the block, and coming all the way down on your back. Great. So from here, I invite you to take any additional poses or asanas that you need before moving into your Shavasana. So I've shown in some of my videos that there are 2 options for Shavasana. You can take it side lying, or you can take it on your back with your back propped up. For today, I will be showcasing a side lying version. So I'm going to take my bolster at the top of my mat for my head. I'm going to take another bolster and make sure that it's supporting my ankles and my knees. I'm going to grab a block to hug in. And if you're feeling at all chilly, this is where that heavier blanket can come in. You can go ahead and cover yourself with it, which I'll do now. And it really is okay to be on either the left or the right side in pregnancy. You hear often, you've got to lie on your left side, you've got to lie on your left side. If you are at all compromising your blood supply by baby being in the wrong position over on the right, you will feel that right away. You will feel nauseous and dizzy and want to move. But in general, as long as you have a normal, healthy pregnancy, you can lie on your right side. So whatever position you've chosen for Shavasana, get nice and cozy. And then allow all of the weight of your body to release. We're going to let the head be nice and light, imagining light is pouring through the crown of the head. Light pouring through the eyes, the face, light opening the jaw, releasing the back of the head, letting that light come down the throat and the neck, releasing every muscle, light covering the shoulders, wrapping down the arms, down through the hands and the fingers, letting that light pour into the chest and the upper back, down through the mid-back and the ribs, softening the solar plexus, the sternum, light pouring down the low back, the hips, letting your belly and your baby being wrapped in this beautiful soft light. As the light releases your pelvis, hips are light and loose, letting that light pour down through the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, light down through the feet and the toes, and out the soles of the feet, letting that light completely surround you. Surrender here. Surrender to the light and the stillness. Let go. Beginning to deepen the breath. Before moving, just noticing how your body feels, noticing how your baby's doing. Then bringing some movement into fingers and toes, wrists, ankles, and taking your time, being as supportive as possible, finding how you would like to return to your comfortable seat today. So use your hands to help push you up, trying to keep your eyes soft or closed. Trying not to rush. And when you find your seat, placing a hand on the heart and a hand on your baby once more. Take this moment to check back in with your intention. See what you'd like to take with you, and perhaps what you'd like to still let go of. And I invite you to let that go through breath. So together we'll all take a deep breath through the nose, out the mouth. And now bringing hands to heart center, letting your gaze fall towards your hand. And we'll thank ourselves first, always giving gratitude to ourselves for taking this time to practice, to care for our bodies, to care for our babies growing inside. And know that by taking this time to care for yourself, you're more free and loving to care towards others. Lifting the gaze, we thank each other with a namaste. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.